Okay, so far we only have William in class. He says he can hear me, but I can't see him or hear him. So I'm going dark here today. We're going to get started. We're on page 61 in grammar. William, please type in the chat if you're having issues or if you're needing some time to finish breakfast or whatever you're working on there, just so I know what's going on because I can't see or hear you, but I see your thumbs up in the chat. And anyway, page 61, we're talking about prepositions. And it says, what is a prepositional phrase pattern? Here, let me share my screen. I almost forgot. So you're just going to write this in on this page. I'm just going to tell it to you since I don't have anybody really here to talk to. So talking about the prepositional phrase pattern, there you are, William. Can you unmute and say hi for me?
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay, good. Well, at least I can see you and hear you. You were the only one, and I wasn't sure. Anyway, a prepositional phrase pattern is and go ahead and write this in your grammar book. This is page 61, plus noun, and then no verb. I'm going to write that in also. So it's prep stands for preposition plus noun, but no verb. So we've talked about this before, the differences between phrases and clauses. Phrases don't have a verb, but clauses do. And then it says to list 10 prepositions. And I just want you to put here page 13 next to prepositions. And then I want you to turn to page 13. And I want you to pick 10 of those words and tell me 10 of them, okay, when you're done writing that. So it's on page 13 of your grammar book. And then you can unmute and just read 10 of them for me. Those prepositions. You can read the short ones if you want, any of them, okay? On page 13.
Um, Between, beyond, by, concerning, down, during, except, for, from.
Good, perfect, good job. Yes, those are 10 examples. But that page 13 has all of them. So kind of keep your finger on that page because you're going to use some of those words. Oh, well, let's do this part next because you are going to use some of those words to fill in the blanks here later. But it says, why is this a prepositional phrase? After the dinner. Can you tell me why is that a prepositional phrase after the dinner?
It has a preposition and a noun, but no verb.
Good, that's right. It follows the rule, a preposition and a noun. The noun is dinner, and there's no verb. So that is, why is this not a prepositional phrase after they ate dinner? Why is that one not a prepositional phrase?
It has a verb.
It has a verb. Very good. Let's just label ate as a verb, and we know that it's not supposed to have a verb. Phrases don't have a verb. Okay, so now I'm going to have you fill in the blanks. So since you're the only one here, William, you're going to be doing a lot of work today. So I'm going to read it. And when I come to the blank, you tell me what word would fit there. This is page 61, but I want you to also have 13 ready. So you can kind of flip back and forth to page 13 and 61. And that way you can fill it in. You ready? Okay. It says, the maid walked blank the kitchen. What's a good preposition we can put there? The maid walked blank the kitchen.
Toward,
The maid walked for the kitchen?
toward,
Oh, toward. Yeah, I thought you said for. Sorry. Good. The maid walked toward the kitchen. Good, that would work. Every morning she drank coffee, blank milk. Sometimes people put milk inside their coffee. So what could you say?
In,
Say it again.
in,
In. Coffee in milk. I think actually with would go better there. Coffee with milk. Then she took eggs and bacon, blank the refrigerator.
out of, out.
Is out one of the prepositions?
Yeah.
Out of? Okay, that'll work. She made breakfast, blank a pan, blank the stove. What do you think on that one? She made breakfast, blank a pan. Maybe in a pan?
In
On,
the pan.
yeah.
And, and,
Or on the stove, because you put the pan on top of the stove. So she made breakfast in a pan on the stove. The mice watched the maid blank a distance.
oh, there's no on the preposition list.
On. Oh, if you look under off, it's there. In the middle row,
Oh,
you see it? Yeah. How about the next one? The mice watched the maid blank a distance. We could put from there. From a distance. Hi, Olivia. Wait, did I just call you Olivia? You're Camila. Sorry, Camila. Camila, so sorry. I'm glad you made it. We're on page 61. And I'm sure William's glad you're here because he's been doing all the work by himself. So 61. You can go ahead and copy what we have so far on here. And then you can catch up with us, okay? When the maid left the room, the mice scurried blank the chairs and blank the counters. What do you think, William?
around the chairs and under the counters.
Oh, I like that. There you go. Around the chairs, and you said under the counters? Okay. So what we're doing, Camila, is using page 13 in your book that has the list of prepositions in it. And we're figuring out what prepositions fit in this story, okay? And the last one, they hunted blank crumbs, blank the kitchen. What do you think, William?
Hunted for crumbs
Yes. Yes.
in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. There you go. Or you could even do inside the kitchen, but in works too. So it says the maid walked toward the kitchen. Every morning she drank coffee with milk. Then she took eggs and bacon out of the refrigerator. She made breakfast in a pan on the stove. The mice watched the maid from a distance. When the maid left the room, the mice scurried around the chairs and under the counters. They hunted for crumbs in the kitchen. Good. It makes sense. Those are all prepositional phrases, by the way. Every single one of them that has a preposition that we wrote in, and the rest of the words that until you get to a noun, those are prepositional phrases. So there's a lot in here. Are you still copying them down, Camila? Or are you done? Are you done?
I'm still copying them down.
Oh, okay. I'll give you a minute to copy them down. And we'll move on. I think I might have you finish this after. Oh, you got it. Okay, good. Phew. Good job. Let's go to the practice page next. That's on 63. And how about Camila? You read the sentence for us. Sentences.
They returned with food for the table for several minutes. They gasped for breath.
Okay, good. Gasped. That just means like like they're just scared or they're, probably scared. It always makes me cough when I do that. So vocabulary, that's what that means, gasped. And then there's one article, go ahead and find that by yourself. And then Camila, how about the four nouns? You know where those are? Those are person, place, thing.
Food, table, minutes, breath.
Good. Yes, you got it. How about pronouns, William?
They,
Good.
they,
And they. That's just those two. Good job. Adjective, back to you, Camila.
Several.
Good. Yes. So the way to find that is to look at those nouns and to look for a word that tells more about the noun, like how many, and that's several. Good. We're going to come back to prepositional phrases in a second, but William, how about verbs? There's only two.
returned
Yes.
and gasped.
Good. Very good. And then what about the subjects, Camila, that go with those? Who returned?
They and they.
They and they. Oh, you guys are good. Now there's four prepositional phrases. I'm gonna have William find two and Camila find two. Okay, so go ahead, William. Do you see two of them?
With and for.
With, tell me the whole phrase.
With food and for the table.
And for the table. And then Camila, where are the other two?
For several minutes
Good.
and for breath.
And for breath. Good. Nice, you guys. Capitals, go ahead and do those by yourself. End mark is a period, and we're done. Man, that was like some record time there. So remember, you can save those prepositional phrases to last if that helps you. And we're done with grammar. So go ahead and get out your binders next. Okay, and you guys wrote about, you finished up your article last time. Would you? Oh, Louis Pasteur. That's right. Finished up that from last time. And let me just look really quick on here. Let's see. I saw Williams. I haven't seen yours yet, Camila. Are you still working on your paper? We lost her. Maybe she's doing. Are you still working on your Louis Pasteur paper? Okay. William, can I read yours or can you read yours to the class? You don't want me to? I like it. I think it's really good. Okay, if you don't want me to, I won't push you to. But did you see my notes that I sent you this morning yet? Okay, you can check that after class. But I thought you did a great job with your topic clinchers and your dress up words. And I really liked your paper. You did a great job on that. So very good. I'm proud of you for that. And Camila, I'll look for yours when you're done with it, but you've been doing a great job with your writing too. So all right then. So since you're still working on it, Camila, go ahead and keep it in your front pocket. But William, you can put away week 9, which was the Louis Pasteur, in your finished folder or wherever you keep your finished stuff. And then while you're in your binders, though, I do want you guys to turn to your banned words tab after you put away your stuff from your finished stuff. Go to that banned words tab, this one right here. We're going to add a new word on the banned list. It's on the blue page here. So you guys should already have on here seesaw. Let's see, say said. You should have say said, seesaw, go went, think thought. Is that what you guys have on the top? Good. Okay, we're going to add one more down here on the bottom row. It's eat ate. You guys remember that from last year. You knew it was coming. And here it is. So down here on the bottom, set mine up a little bit there. Eat ate. Now those are banned words. What can we say instead of eat ate? What can we say instead of ate, like past
Nibbled.
tense? Say it again.
Nimbled.
Nibbled. Good. I like that.
Devoured.
Good. Devoured. Yes. What else?
Munched.
I like that. Munched. Consumed.
Gobbled.
Gobbled. I like it.
Digest.
Digest. I'm going to say digested just so we can keep it all past tense here. Chewed. How about snacked? Like, you know how you snack on something? Snacked. I'm going to put snacked on. What about, this is a good one, choke down. If you're eating really fast, you're going to choke down that pizza because you're hungry. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good list. There's more, whenever you're doing your writing and you need a word for eat or ate and you don't like any of these, you can always look in a thesaurus or go to thesaurus.com and look up ate. And then you'll give you even more ideas. Okay, so we're done with that. Now you're going to go back to the front here of your binder and take out week 10. Week 10 has 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Called dining. Go ahead and take out the 4 pages that are for dining. And you do not need a lined paper today. So just these 4 pages is all you need. Okay. All right. Do you guys remember last year when you wrote from pictures? We're doing it again. So let's look at the yellow page first. Let's just do a little refresher on this. Right here. Let's look at the yellow page. We talked about this last year, so this should be pretty easy for you. But when you think, remember how I talked to you guys about thinking? Because that's a skill you can practice, actually. And when we talk about thinking, what's really happening is you're asking yourself questions. Like if you didn't have time for breakfast this morning, you might be kind of hungry and you might be thinking, what can I have for breakfast? Where is the pizza left over from last night? And after class, I'm going to find something to eat, right? So these things are automatically happening in your brain inside your head, right? If you're hungry, you're thinking about those things. But actually, thinking is really a good thing to learn how to practice. So this is what we're going to do when we're making up stories. You've got your 3 pictures. Okay, this is just the example. And looking at these pictures at each one, you're going to ask these questions to help you come up with a story. And then notice that all the picture at the top here is going to be your first paragraph, right? Here's Roman numeral 1. And then we have central fact. You guys remember what we did for that part? Central fact. Okay, that was like what is literally happening in the picture. Remember how we talked about that last year? So literally in the picture, I see a bird, a garden hose, and grass, and maybe the side of a house. That's literally what I see in the picture. And then from there, underneath that, this is where you get creative. These are the details. Who is this bird? I'm going to call him Bob, Bob the bird, right? Bob is always the name I always pick anyway. But so here's Bob. And what is he doing? He's hungry. He didn't eat breakfast. He's looking for food and he thinks this is a big worm or snake or something that he thinks he can eat. When was it? Well, it was morning time, and maybe he's the dad bird, and the mama bird said, "Hey, honey, you need to go get us some breakfast so we can just relax in the nest." So I'm making this up, right? These questions will help you come up with a story. So these kinds of details are what you put here about the picture. And then you move on to the middle one. And this is number 2, the Roman numeral 2, which represents the second paragraph of the story. And here we have the central fact again. Central fact is the hose, the bird bit a hole or poked a hole through the hose, and now the hose is spraying him. And he doesn't look very happy. He looks shocked, like, oh, what happened? Okay, so then you go back through here. So Bob, who is Bob? What happened? Well, it's not a worm after all. It's a garden hose. Why is the water coming out? Because someone left the garden hose on earlier that morning when they were watering the garden. I don't know. I'm just making this up. Okay, so you can look at the picture, ask these questions. And then, by the way, down here at the bottom, before, after, and outside, these are other questions you can ask yourself, like what happened before, maybe between these two. Something could have happened in the middle of those two, like before this one. Or what happened after this one? Like maybe there's a picture that's not there between these 2 pictures, okay? And then that word outside is talking about the frame of the picture. So maybe there's a big cat right here outside that picture that we can't see. And that is now he sees the cat and now he's scared. He's scared the cat is going to catch him and kill him, right? So outside just means you can use your imagination to think about what could possibly be going on outside of the frame of the picture. All right, so here he is. In the central fact here is he's walking away. He wants to go find breakfast somewhere else. He's going to go maybe to the next neighbor's house, or maybe he's going to go across the street, something like that. So, this is how we use our pictures, all right? Who, what, when, where, why. The only one they didn't include here is how. That's another question you could ask. And then before, after, outside. And last year we talked about the word invisible. Remember when I talked to you about invisible? And maybe there's something invisible in the picture that you can't see. So this is where you use your imagination. Now, I have to admit, and I think you guys already know this from last year, this kind of creative writing is hard for me. I have a hard time with it. It's easier for me to write a report about something like Louis Pasteur and all that. I can write a report, no problem. But to come up with ideas, names, situations, conflicts, problems, all that stuff to come out, just make it up out of nowhere is hard for me. Do you think it's easy to write creative stories? If you think it's easy to write creative stories, give me a thumbs up. If you are like, kind of, or it's like, no, it's really hard to write creative stories. Oh, you're both a thumbs up. Yay. Good. Then you'll like this. Let's go to the actual pictures you're going to use right here. This is for your homework this week. And so each picture is a paragraph, remember? So I'm just going to give you a second to look at the pictures. Think about what do you think is going on here. And before we get too deep into it, I have a feeling you guys already have some ideas going on, and I want you to be able to share your ideas. At the very top, I want you to write the question words. Who, question mark. What, when, where, why, how. We're going to add that one on here. I want you to write them all in at the top of your page here so you can remember as you're looking at this story. Who, what, when, where, why, how, before, after, squeeze it in, inside, and let's put invisible. Is there anything invisible that you can't see in the picture, but that's happening in the picture? Those are good notes to have on your page as we're brainstorming here. And I'm not going to write anything down here. We're just going to discuss it together verbally. And I'm going to give you an option like I did last year. If writing out your keyword outline helps you, then I want you to do that, okay? If this is hard for you to do with pictures, you can skip this part and just start typing your story. Some students say that it's so much easier to just start typing your story. But if this helps you to put down some notes in here, then you can use this keyword outline. You don't have to, though. I'm going to turn this off. I have a glare. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm just going to cover up these two so we can just focus on the first one here. I'm going to start with Camila. So what is the central fact? What do you actually see in the picture first? What is literally in the picture?
They're looking at their menus.
Okay, good. So maybe they're at a restaurant looking at a menu. What do you see on the table?
2 candles and I believe 1 rose.
Yeah, a little flower or rose. Yep, that's right. I see a boy and a girl too, right? Or a man and a woman. And they're looking at menus. Good. So that would be something you would put for your central fact. Like 2 people, menu, restaurant, those types of words. If this helps you, you can write in those things here. Now, William, think about who are these people? Can you give them a name and how are they related to each other? Are they friends? Are they brother and sister? Are they mom and dad, husband and wife? This is where you get to be creative, okay? So what do you think Who are they and what are their names? You can create that.
Jeff and Kira.
Jeff and Sarah? Jeff and Sarah. Okay. And are they friends? Are they boyfriend, girlfriend? Are they husband, wife?
Friends.
They're friends. Okay. They're just going out to dinner for fun. It looks like. Okay. And so that could be something you write down if you want to remember those names for later. Jeff and Sarah, you can write that down. And it says, what, here's another good question word. What are they doing? I know Camila already mentioned that they're looking at the menu, but look at their faces. What do you think they're thinking, Camila?
They're thinking about what they're gonna order.
They're deciding what they're going to order or discussing that. It kind of looks to me like his eyes are kind of big. I don't know. It looks like his eyebrows are up and he's looking at it like, why would he have kind of a surprised look as he's looking there? Camila, what do you think?
Maybe he found something that surprised him.
That surprised him? Like maybe something that's on the menu that's gross or
Delicious.
maybe or delicious, yeah. Or what if he's looking at the prices and he's thinking, uh-oh, I hope I don't have to pay for this because it's like $100 a plate or something like that. Maybe he's like, I don't have that much money in my pocket. What am I gonna do? What do you think, William? Do you have another idea of why he would be surprised?
No, I was gonna say that it's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, maybe. And maybe they are friends, but maybe they're on a date and he's trying to impress her maybe and she's thinking, "Oh my goodness, this is so nice that he took me to a nice restaurant. Look how expensive this food is." And he's going, "Uh-oh, how am I going to pay for this? I don't know what I'm going to do." Okay, so those are all pretty good ideas. So you can decide maybe it's a mom and a dad on an anniversary dinner or something, or somebody in my other class said maybe they're on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know what that's like, but I've seen pictures of people on a cruise and maybe they're at a fancy special event or something. I don't know. But okay. So far we answered who, what, and a little bit of why. Like, why does he have a surprised look on his face? All right. And then notice that the rule here, the clincher rule is here because you're still going to use that in your paragraphs when you go to write your paragraphs. Let's move down to the second one. So now we have someone new in the picture. So William, the central fact is literally what's in the picture. So what do you see in the picture?
Um, um, they're um, they're ordering some food.
They're ordering some food. So who is this person? You know what they're called? Oops, all of a sudden I can't hear you. I tried unmuting again. I can't hear you for some reason. Try it again. I think your maybe your microphone came unplugged or something. Can't hear you. Are you putting it in the chat or something? It's weird, William. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me okay? I don't think, can you hear me, William? Can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me either. Make a note here. Okay. Well, how about Camila? I don't know what happened to his headphones, but who is this person right here that came on the scene in this picture?
A waitress.
The wait, actually, this would be it looks like a boy to me, so I would say waiter. So a waitress would be like a girl, so this would be a waiter. But you're right. The waiter came and he looks like he's writing down what they're ordering, right? Um, Looking at their faces though, and I'm going to go to this question, why? Because I'm looking at the waiter's face and he looks surprised to me. His eyebrows are up and he's like, got a funny look on his face. And then she's kind of smiling at him. And then he's looking like, what are you thinking over there? So, what do you think? Why is he looking like that?
He's probably like, "Are you sure you want to order this? It's too expensive."
That's a good one. Are you sure you want to order this? This is too expensive. Or are you, yeah, that's a good one. What do you think, William? Can you hear me? You can? What do you think he's thinking right here? Okay, I can't hear you at all. Maybe type it in the chat. I can't hear you. I'm sorry, William. I don't know what happened. What if they're on a date and this is like boyfriend, girlfriend right here? And what if this is like her ex-boyfriend? And now she's like, uh-oh, I didn't know you worked here. And he's like, uh-oh, I didn't know you were coming here tonight. And it's awkward between those two. That could be. Or what if what they're ordering is like something weird or gross? And he's like, are you sure you want to order that? I don't know if you were going to like that. Those are some other ideas. So you can jot down here in your keywords. Remember, the keyword outline is only 3 words. Symbols and numbers are fine, but jot down just meaning write down a couple words to help you remember your ideas. Okay. You don't have to use this to write, but it can help you if you're stuck on what to write. Well, let's go ahead and look at the last picture here. This one. And now it's a little bit different here. So what is happening literally in this picture? And William, I'm going to have you type in the chat. Okay. I want you to type in there what's happening in this picture here. Okay. And I'm going to ask Camila because I can't hear you. So I don't know what you're thinking. But Camila, what do you think is happening in this third picture? It looks like he brought food or something here, right? And he's showing it to them.
He's probably like, this looks much better in real life.
That's a good one. And she looks shocked, right? So the girl is surprised. She's like, oh, and it looks like a good surprise, I think, but he looks like he's not sure. He's kind of leaning back like uh maybe it's like a lobster that's still alive or something and it's moving and she's like, "What? Oh my gosh, it's moving." And he's like, "Okay, what do I do?" Something like that. What if this was her ex-boyfriend and he wants to propose to her and he put like a diamond ring under there or something? And he's like, I'm on a date with her. And now all of a sudden the waiter is proposing to her, wants to marry her or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. Or it could be that like it's a really fancy, I don't know, something very fancy, like a steak, a special steak or something. And maybe it looks good to her. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. That looks amazing. But anyway, you get to think about what is it that's inside there? Because we can't really see it. We can look at their expressions and kind of guess what they're thinking. But this is going to be your third paragraph down here. So you get to decide, what's happening in that third picture here. And then you've got your title rule at the very bottom, just to remind you, you're going to give this story your own title. So let me just recap for you. I know, William, I don't see anything in the chat, so I feel like you're having a hard time putting stuff in the chat. So you can just listen for now since I can't hear you. Use these question words at the top to help you come up with a story. Each one of these is a paragraph. This is paragraph 1. This is paragraph 2. This is paragraph 3. Now, remember, you have before and after on here. You could think about what happened before this picture. And then even at the very end, you can think about what happened at the very end of the story. You can give the restaurant a name and figure out like what's on the menu and talk about what's on the menu and things that may be outside. Actually, I put inside. That should actually be outside. I wrote the wrong word. I'm going to just cross that out. I'm going to add it down here outside, because what you're thinking is what is possibly on the outside of the picture frame, not inside, outside of the frame. So maybe they have a whole family there. Maybe it's like a Thanksgiving dinner and the whole family, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, the whole family is there. We only see these two. See what I mean? You can get really creative with your ideas on that. Any questions about how, like, what your homework is, or do you need any help coming up with more ideas? Okay, good. So let's look at the checklist really quick then. It's a pretty easy assignment. Checklist is here. Regular stuff on top. Don't forget your title. Centered and repeats 1 to 3 key words from your final sentence. And then your clincher sentences. So your topic clinchers. You guys remember that? Let's review the topic clincher rule real quick. Do your hands too. You don't have to unmute, but go like this with your hands. Camila, hold your hand up like this. William, hold your hand up like this. Hold it up higher, William, so I can see it. And let's do it together. Ready? The topic clincher. Oh, wait, sorry. I messed up. Let's start over. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. Okay, one more time, faster. Ready? The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. One more time, do it faster. Ready, go. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. I see that, Olivia. Good job. All right, so you're still going to use that in every paragraph, okay? Remember, your topic sentence is that first sentence. And the clincher sentence is your last sentence of each paragraph, okay? And then you got your ly adverb, who, which clause, strong verb, because clause, quality adjective. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words that should be underlined. and then your band words. You have eat, ate. This is going to be hard because you're probably going to be tempted to use that in your story because they're at a restaurant, right? So don't use eat, ate. Use one of those other words that we came up with earlier. Now, I do want to share one more thing with you because I thought this was pretty creative. I have an example of a student who wrote about this story, and it's not one of my students. It's actually from my teacher book, but I thought it was pretty good, so I wanted to share it with you. First of all, I wanted you to notice the bold words. Those are this student's, and the student's name is Joshua. It's not one of my students, but anyway, those are the topic clinchers. You see Peter, Hannah, and then the next paragraph has waiter, order, and he accidentally bolded because he didn't need to do that. So this is not a perfect paper. But anyway, waiter and order here. Then he has waiter, gag, and then waiter, prank. So those are his topic clinchers. And do you see all the words underlined? He's got 5 words underlined in each paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to read this story to you. It's pretty good. Peter and Hannah's restaurant escapade. One peaceful evening, a couple whose names were Peter and Hannah went on a date to a place called Magical Dessert Factory. Because they lived in a clamorous house with 6 children, they needed a date night. When they perused the menu, there were a lot of interesting options. Some of the verminous, malodorous, inharmonious options, they kind of went crazy with those words, but were pickled pig lips, ew, real pig lips with pickle juice on them, crickets, real cooked crickets, usually served with a topping like bacon and cheese, sour cream and onion, or salt and vinegar, cow tongue, a cow's tongue that is blue, and other things like that. Even considering what to order was hard. Peter and Hannah would have walked out at that moment if the waiter had not come. Okay, I'm going to stop there for a second. So this student decided to take it on a gross turn here. So that's why that the guy is shocked in the picture, because he's like, oh my gosh, pig lips and crickets and cow tongue. And he's like, this is so gross. What am I going to do? All right. When the waiter came, he asked what they would like to order. Peter, not knowing what to say, bravely asked for pickled pig lips. Hannah nervously asked for cow tongue and water. The waiter talked about how delicious the food was that they had picked. Peter, who was convinced that it was silly to ask the waiter if he had tried what they had ordered, asked him anyway, just to be safe. Because the waiter was honest for the most part, he answered Peter's question with a no. The waiter was hoping that they would not cancel their order. Soon, the waiter mischievously came back with a food gag. That means like fake food, like it wasn't real. It was just like a joke. Hannah and Peter were gasping at how horrible the food looked, but little did they know that their children had put the waiter up to this ridiculous prank of menus and food. Because the waiter was nice, he told them that it was all a joke. Then the waiter returned with the real food, which turned out to be their favorite special for the day. The waiter revealed a dessert, which was a banana split with sugared strawberries, chocolate sauce, and M&Ms. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Peter and Hannah ended up having a wonderful time with their waiter and their children's silly prank. So that's how this student decided to write, like, as a joke. Like, I don't know if you ever heard punked before. Like, they were punked. They were pranked, basically. So that's another idea, another direction you can go with this. All right, you guys, I know it's a little early, but that's it for today. So you're going to write your 3 paragraphs using those pictures and use the checklist. Okay, make sure you got all the things on the checklist in there. You guys have anything to ask me before you go? Any questions or anything? No, you're good? All right, then I will see you next week. Have fun with this story. Get creative. Bye, Camila. See you later.